Listen carefully, because this is the part nobody warned you about. They walked away like you meant nothing, cold, distant, unaffected. But what if I told you they didn't leave because you were easy to replace, they left because you were too real to handle? And now they're stuck in a silent war, trying to find someone who doesn't make them feel what you made them feel. But they can't. And when an avoidant realizes they can't replace you, they don't come back the way you expect. They do something far more confusing, far more revealing. And if you don't understand this, you'll misread the signs and lose your power all over again. You gave them something rare, not perfection, not pressure, but presence. The kind that sees through walls, the kind that reaches where they've spent years hiding, and that terrified them. Because avoidants don't run from people, they run from what they feel around certain people. And you made them feel everything they've been avoiding their entire life. So when they couldn't control it, they disconnected. But here's the truth that hits later, long after the silence. They realize they didn't lose just another person. They lost the one person they couldn't emotionally escape. They act like you never mattered. That's the performance. Calm voice, controlled tone, a version of themselves that looks untouched by what happened. And if you're not careful, you'll believe it. You'll start questioning everything, your memories, your connection, the moments that felt so undeniably real. But here's what's actually happening beneath that surface. Their mind is not at peace. It's not clean, not quiet, not resolved. It's looping, constantly. You don't disappear from someone like that. You linger in fragments, in the way you spoke their name, in the specific silence you shared that felt more honest than words, in the way you understood things they never explained. And that's the problem. Because for someone who avoids emotional depth, but presence wasn't just connection, it was exposure. You saw patterns they were trying to outrun. You felt emotions they were trying to numb. You touched places inside them that they had locked away for years. So now, even when they're moving forward, something keeps pulling them back, not physically, but mentally. A song hits at the wrong moment. A place reminds them of you. A sentence someone else says triggers a memory they didn't expect. And suddenly, you're there again. Not in front of them, but inside their awareness. And they hate that part, because it disrupts the story they're trying to tell themselves. The story where leaving was easy. The story where you weren't that significant. The story where they're completely unaffected. But reality doesn't cooperate with that narrative. Reality keeps bringing you back into their mind in ways they can't control. So they double down. They act even more detached. They convince others and themselves that they've moved on. But the truth is, the more they suppress it, the stronger it becomes internally. It's like trying to hold water underwater. The pressure builds. The resistance grows. They might not say your name. They might not reach out. But internally, there's a constant comparison happening. Every new interaction gets measured against what they felt with you. And most of the time, it doesn't match. Not even close. And that creates frustration. Because now they're stuck between two realities. The one where they left to protect themselves, and the one where they can't fully escape what they lost. And instead of facing that contradiction, they choose avoidance again. They distract. They keep moving. They stay busy. But you don't need noise when something has left a deep imprint. Silence is enough to bring it back. And in those quiet moments late at night, when there's nothing to distract them, when the world slows down just enough they feel it, not just missing you, but missing the version of themselves that existed with you. The one that felt more open, more alive, more connected. That's what they can't replace. And that's why, no matter how far they go, no matter how much they try to convince themselves otherwise, your presence stays embedded in their mind like an unfinished sentence they don't know how to complete. They start looking for something easier, not better, not deeper, just easier. Something that doesn't challenge them. Something that doesn't pull emotions out of them they don't know how to handle. And at first, it feels like relief. Like they finally found a connection that doesn't demand too much, doesn't push too far, doesn't expose anything uncomfortable. There's no pressure to open up, no intense conversations. No moments where they feel seen in a way that makes them vulnerable. It's smooth, light, manageable. And that's exactly why it doesn't last. Because what feels safe in the beginning slowly starts to feel empty. There's no depth to hold on to. No emotional intensity that makes moments meaningful. No connection that actually challenges them to grow. It's surface level. And while that protects them from discomfort, it also robs them of fulfillment. And they start noticing it, not immediately. At first, they convince themselves this is better, healthier, less complicated. But over time, something starts to feel off. Conversations feel repetitive. Interactions feel predictable. There's no spark that lingers after the moment is gone, and without realizing it, they begin comparing. Not consciously at first. It's subtle. A thought that crosses their mind for a second too long. A moment where they realize this new person doesn't understand them the way you did, doesn't challenge them the way you did, doesn't make them feel the way you did. And that's when the emptiness becomes undeniable, because you didn't just give them comfort, you gave them depth. You gave them something that forced them to confront emotions they had been avoiding, and now that they've experienced. But that level of connection, anything less feels incomplete. But instead of admitting that, they try to fix it externally. They think maybe it's the wrong person, so they move on again and again, searching for that feeling without realizing that what they're actually searching for is something they ran away from. And every time they don't find it, the contrast becomes clearer. Because once you've experienced something real, something emotionally intense, something that breaks through your defenses, you can't unknow it. You can't pretend it never happened. And you definitely can't replace it with something shallow. So they keep moving, keep searching, keep telling themselves that what they had with you wasn't necessary. But internally, there's a growing awareness that what they lost wasn't just another connection. It was the only one that ever made them feel something they couldn't control. They don't reach out. They don't make it obvious. But they watch, quietly, from a distance that feels safe to them. No risk, no exposure, no vulnerability, just observation. They check your stories, notice your updates, pay attention to changes in your life. Not in a consistent, predictable way, but in moments. Moments where curiosity overrides their need for distance. And it's not random. They're not just checking in. They're measuring something. They're trying to understand what your life looks like without them, trying to see if you've moved on, trying to figure out if they were as replaceable to you as they're trying to convince themselves you were to them. Because if you moved on easily, it challenges their ego. And if you didn't, it challenges their emotions. So either way, they're pulled in. They might not like your posts. They might not engage. But they see more than you think. They notice details. Who you're with, what you're doing, how you're changing. And every piece of information creates a reaction internally. Sometimes it's relief. Sometimes it's discomfort. But sometimes it's something they can't even define. But it matters. Because if you truly meant nothing to them, they wouldn't look at all. The distance gives them control. It allows them to stay connected without being accountable, to feel something without having to respond to it, to observe without being seen. But that control comes at a cost. Because watching from a distance means they never get closure. They never fully process what happened. They stay stuck in a loop of curiosity and avoidance. And every time they see you doing better, moving forward, evolving, it forces them to confront a truth they've been avoiding. You didn't break without them. And that realization hits deeper than they expected. They start rewriting the story, not because they want to lie, but because they need to survive their own emotions. Because the truth, as it actually happened, is too uncomfortable to sit with. So they adjust it. They tell themselves it wasn't that deep, that the connection wasn't as meaningful as it felt, that you weren't right for them, that it would have failed anyway. And the more they repeat it, the more believable it becomes. But here's the problem with rewriting reality. Your mind might accept the new version, but your emotions don't. Because emotions don't operate on logic. They operate on experience. And what they experienced with you was real, intense, unavoidable. So even while they're telling themselves one story, their internal reactions are telling another. They'll remember moments that contradict the narrative they've created. Moments of closeness, moments of vulnerability, moments where they felt something they haven't felt before or since. And those memories don't align with the version of events they're trying to believe. So they push them away. Dismiss them, minimize them, but they don't disappear. They stay in the background, creating tension between what they're telling themselves and what they actually felt. And that tension doesn't go away by ignoring it. It builds, because deep down, they know. They know you mattered more than they're willing to admit. They know the connection was stronger than they're pretending. They know they walked away from something that had depth, but admitting that would require them to face something much harder: the fact that they weren't emotionally ready for what you offered. And that's not an easy truth to accept. So instead, they protect themselves the only way they know how. By rewriting the story, even if it never fully feels true. When you were there, they resisted. They pulled back, created space, needed distance. It felt like you were always reaching and they were always retreating. But now that you're gone, there's nothing to push against, no presence to resist, no emotional pressure to escape. And suddenly, the absence becomes louder than your presence ever was. Because when you were there, your energy filled the space, your attention. your care, your effort. It created a dynamic that kept them engaged even if they didn't fully appreciate it in the moment. But now, there's silence, and silence doesn't distract, it amplifies. It forces them to sit with their own thoughts, their own emotions, their own reality without you in it, and that's when they start to feel it. Not in a dramatic, overwhelming way, but in subtle moments. Moments where they expect something that's no longer there. Moments where they realize no one is reaching out the way you did. No one is creating the same emotional presence. No one is showing up in the way you consistently did. And that absence becomes noticeable. Because you weren't just someone in their life, you were an emotional experience. And removing that experience creates a void they didn't anticipate. Because they thought distance would bring relief. But instead, it brought awareness. Awareness of what your presence actually meant. And the more time passes, the clearer it becomes. They think about reaching out more times, but than you'll ever know. But thinking and acting are two very different things, because reaching out isn't just a message, it's a decision. A decision that comes with consequences they're not sure they can handle. Because what happens if you don't respond the way they expect? What happens if you've changed, moved on, become someone who no longer accepts the version of them that left? That uncertainty creates hesitation, and hesitation turns into inaction. At the same time, their emotions are pulling them in the opposite direction. Curiosity, regret, the need to reconnect, the desire to feel that connection again. So they're stuck between ego and emotion. Ego says stay away, protect yourself, maintain control. Emotion says reach out, risk it, see what happens. And that internal conflict keeps them frozen, because either choice requires something they struggle with: vulnerability. And vulnerability to them feels dangerous. So they wait, convincing themselves that time will make the decision easier. But it doesn't. It just keeps them in the same place, watching, thinking, wondering, without ever fully stepping forward. There comes a moment, quiet, almost invisible, where everything clicks into place. Not about them, but about you. You finally see the pattern for what it is, not what you hoped it could become. You realize that what you felt was real, but what they could handle was limited. And that changes everything. Because now, instead of chasing clarity from someone who lives in confusion, you become clear within yourself. You stop trying to decode their silence, stop replaying moments looking for hidden meaning, and start recognizing a deeper truth. Love that has to be chased, questioned, and constantly proven is not the kind of love that builds a powerful life. And in that realization, something inside you shifts, not loudly, but permanently. You begin to understand that their inability to replace you was never your responsibility to fix. It was a reflection of what you brought into their world: depth, presence, emotional truth. And while they ran from it, that doesn't make it wrong. It makes it rare. The mistake would be shrinking that part of yourself just to fit into someone else's emotional limitations. Because the same intensity that overwhelmed them is the same intensity that will one day create a connection where you don't have to question your worth, your place, or your value. And that's the turning point, when you stop seeing your depth as the reason things ended and start seeing it as the reason something better is inevitable. And here's where your power becomes undeniable. You no longer wait for them to come back and validate what you already know. You don't need their realization to confirm your value. You don't need their return to feel complete, because you've stepped into a different mindset entirely, one where your energy is no longer invested in people who hesitate to meet you fully. You become selective, intentional, grounded, and suddenly, the story isn't about why they couldn't replace you, it's about why you would never again settle for someone who even tries. That's the shift. That's the transformation. That's where everything changes. If this spoke to something deep inside you, if it felt like someone finally put your experience into words, then you're not alone in this. And more importantly, you're not stuck here. There's a version of you rising from this that is stronger, clearer, and far more aligned with the kind of love you actually deserve. Take this moment with you. Let it reshape how you see yourself, how you choose, how you move forward. And until next time, stay aware, stay powerful, and never abandon your depth for someone who's afraid to feel it.